All right, what we're working on today is the graphs. It's the final part of this chapter. And so we've done a lot of graphing. We remember that x to the third takes 3 up and downs and looks like this, versus negative x to the third ends up pointing down. And then another common one we've had is x to the fourth, which looks like a W, or negative x to the fourth, which looks like the M. Okay, those are the most frequent ones we've had, and we're going to work with those again today. Today, what we're going to work on is finding the max and minimum of those. Oops. And so the maximum is the highest turning point. So I'm going to highlight that here. This is the max. This one's a max. This is a max. So if you notice, on a positive x to the fourth, there was only 1 max. But on a negative x to the fourth, there was 2. So sometimes that'll happen. On x to the third, there's only 1 max each. And then the minimum is the lowest turning point. Actually, so let's change colors. So we'll do this one in green. And so there's 2 mins on the x to the fourth and 1 for the others, but they're the low turning point. Now sometimes you're going to have multiple max and mins like I did here. You see here I had 2 maxes. Those are called relative maxes because it depends on where you're at, that it's the relative max. And it's the same thing here. I had relative mins. And so sometimes you're going to have multiple maxes and mins. Like I could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I have 2 maxes. And then I have 2 mins. So you have to find both of them. Okay. All right. So to find the max and mins, what we really do is we just look at Desmos. Okay. So we're going to focus in on Desmos. Okay, so I have all of them plugged in. But here is this one. You see how it turns right here? That's the max. So the first relative max is at negative 1.54. So let's write that. So the max, negative 1.54. Let's go back and look. And comma 0.88. And that's the relative max, okay? And then the min, we could just scroll out some, is right here, 0.87 and negative 6.1, okay? 0.87, negative 6.1. And that's it. You're really just looking at the graphs on Desmos and clicking on it to find the max and min. You notice, though, it is about halfway. It's never exact because the curves kind of change because of all the different directions. And so this is why you have to use a graphing calculator or Desmos to see it. Let's look at the second one. Okay, so the second one, here's my max up here. And this one is an exact point, 0.16. So and then when we look at the next one, there's 2 relative mins. Oops. And they are exact points also. Negative 2, 0, and 2, 0. That will not always happen, but it's nice when it does. So negative 2, 0, and 2, 0. Okay, and then let's just look at the last one. That's all you have to do is look at Desmos. Turn off graph 2. Look at graph 3. Okay, so here, this is an x to the third because there's 1, 2, 3 x's right there. And the max, negative 1.1. And then that's paired with 5.05 because that 9 would push it up. And then the min, let's go find the min. It's down here. Whoa, well, I guess I could zoom out. Right there. 2.43, comma, negative 16.9. So finding the max and min isn't necessarily hard. It's just knowing that sometimes you're going to have multiple ones and understanding why it's a relative max or min.